welcome back to another episode of my channel. Today, another Champions League group stage game week is upon us. The Champions League returns match week 4 tomorrow and Wednesday. So we have Champions League games tomorrow involving teams from groups E to H, and games on Wednesday involving teams in groups A to G, which includes some big games in terms of the context of the groups, like Man United away to Copenhagen, like Newcastle away to Dortmund, like City versus Young Boys at the Etihad. If City beat Young Boys and Leipzig beat Red Star, then City automatically qualify. If City beat Young Boys and Leipzig beat Young Boys and Leipzig beat, Man City, my team, beat Young Boys and Leipzig go away to Salzburg and win, then we qualify for the knockouts. And then a win against Leipzig in match week 5 will not only confirm top spot. So City with wins if City win this week against Young Boys and next week against Leipzig, and Leipzig this week, if City win against Young Boys this week and beat Leipzig after the international break, and Leipzig beat Red Star away, then City qualify for the Champions League knockout rounds and qualify for the Champions League knockout rounds in top spot. So 2 wins in the next 2 Champions League group stage games for City, and a win for Leipzig tomorrow away against Red Star will qualify City top of group. Will qualify City for the knockout rounds, top of Group G. So yeah, City's game against Young Boys is very big, but we've also got a few other big games that could decide the way the group goes, like Lazio at home to Feyenoord, Celtic away to Atletico Madrid, Lens away to PSV, and a big game between Real Sociedad at home to Benfica. So yeah, there are some big games tomorrow and Wednesday. So we're gonna get to my predictions for each of the games, starting with the games on Tuesday involving the teams from Group E to H. First up, let's go Group H. Let's start off with Group E. The first game we have tomorrow is Atletico Madrid hosting Celtic. Now, the reverse fixture for Atletico Madrid Celtic was 2-1, a 2-2 draw at Celtic Park. Celtic took the lead twice, but had to settle for a 2-2 draw. So it's going to be interesting to see how well, if Celtic were able to do well against Atletico Madrid at home, let's see how well they can handle Atletico Madrid away at the Wanda Metropolitano, which is a really tough stadium to go to. Do I generally think Celtic, if they get a good result against Atletico Madrid, do I think Celtic have a good chance of making the knockouts or the Europa League if they beat Atletico Madrid? Europa League definitely, Champions League yes. If Celtic lose or draw to Atletico Madrid, then I think their hopes of making the knockout rounds are over. But I think if they lose to Atletico Madrid, then their hopes of qualifying for the Europa League are also over. So there's a lot on the line for Celtic, but given they're away from home at a tough stadium in the Wanda Metropolitano, I don't see anything but a Atletico Madrid win, and I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Atletico Madrid, with Alvaro Morata getting a goal, the winner in the last minute. The next game pits the Syria against the Dutch Eredivisie as Lazio host high-flying Feyenoord, who came off the back of a very good result at home to Lazio of 3-1. And they have a very, 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 very good chance of qualifying for the knockout round if they beat Lazio away. I don't know how well Lazio have done. I don't know how well Lazio have done since losing 3-1 to Feyenoord in match week 3. So I'm not exactly sure how to judge them. But I'm gonna back who I assume lots of people would think would consider favourites for this game, and that is Feyenoord, as I believe they will win 1-0 away to Lazio. Next up, we're on to Group H. We're on to Group F. Dortmund, it's Germany versus England as Dortmund host Newcastle. Dortmund, good result against Newcastle in match week 3 of the Champions League. Decent result the week after. I'm pretty sure they had a decent result in the Bundesliga that exact same week. Didn't have any action during midweek last week, but on the weekend they were smashed 4-0 by their biggest rivals, Bayern Munich, with Kane scoring a hat-trick. While Newcastle, on the other hand, backed up a very impressive 3-0 win against Fulham, 3-0 win against United, with a 1-0 win against Arsenal, with a controversial goal by all means, but a goal nonetheless. Dortmund have beat Newcastle 1-0 at St James's Park. But since then, Newcastle have been in better form. So I have to go a Newcastle win. And I'm going to say 3-1 to Newcastle. Next up, we have AC Milan and PSG. This was a one-sided fixture. One-sided game at the Parc des Princes as PSG won 3-0. I don't think it'll be the exact same result, but I think it'll be similar. I'm going to say PSG win against AC Milan by 2-0. It's hard to back against PSG with Mbappe flying. So yeah, Milan 0, PSG 2 with Mbappe getting both goals. Now on to Group G, which is my team's group. But we're starting with the other game, the game involving Red Star Belgrade of Serbia and RB Leipzig of Germany. The reverse fixture was a 3-1 Leipzig win, but this is a different game. It's at Red Star Stadium, which some people would consider one of the most hostile stadiums in terms of atmosphere. It's got one of the most hostile atmospheres ever. The fans are always up for it, and Leipzig, I think, will struggle. But I still believe Red Star, Leipzig have the skills, have the players to get them the result. So I'm going to say, but RB Leipzig edged the game 2-1. Next up, we have my team, Manchester City, as we host Young Boys. On the weekend, we had no cup football in midweek last week, but we followed up having no cup football in midweek last week with a 6-1 demolition of Bournemouth at home, where Jeremy Doku, one of our summer signings, got 4 assists and 1 goal. With the other goal scorers being Bernard Silva with 2, Phil Foden, Akanji, and Ake. So yeah, very good result for City. Very, very good result for City. Very, 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 very good result for City against Young Boys. As for score for City against Bournemouth, don't know what Leipzig did on the week. Don't know what Young Boys did on the weekend, but I don't need to know what Young Boys did on the weekend because this is going to be unanimous. City will win 4-1. Yes, City will go 2 home games in a row. We'll go back-to-back home games with 10. We'll go 2 home games in a row with. We'll score 10 goals in 2 home games. We've scored 6 against Newcastle. We scored 6 against Bournemouth on the weekend. I think we're going to add 4 more onto that and get 10 goals in our last 2 home matches with a 4 win over Young Boys. With Julian Alvarez coming in for Haaland and bagging a brace with Foden scoring, and Jeremy Doku will continue his great run of form with a few assists. Next up, Group H. Group H is the last group that are playing. Is the last group that has that is the last group we're going through on Tuesday. That are playing on Tuesday, and it involves 2 not very important games, as Shakhtar of Ukraine host Barcelona, and as Porto of Portugal host Royal Antwerp. Why do I say this? Because Barcelona and Porto are basically guaranteed to be going through to the knockouts. But I also say that about Porto and Antwerp because the reverse fixture was 4-1 Porto. But we'll get to that one after we've gone through Shakhtar Barcelona. The reverse fixture for Shakhtar Barcelona ended 2-1 to Barcelona. I think they're going to win against Shakhtar again, and I think they're going to beat Shakhtar 3-0 with a brace for Jack Feats and a goal for a player who I now hate, thanks to what he did last season, Jack Cancelo. Next up, and final game of Tuesday is, like I said, Porto versus Royal Antwerp, which obviously ended, like I said, in the reverse fixture to a 4-0 win to Porto. And I think, once again, it's going to be another one-sided affair. Porto will beat Royal Antwerp at home by 3-1. Mehdi Taremi with a brace. Now we're on to Wednesday's games. First up, we have Germany versus Turkey as Bayern Munich host Galatasaray. The reverse fixture in Turkey was 3-1 Bayern Munich. I think it was a good game. I think this game between Bayern Munich and Galatasaray in Germany is going to go around the same. Is going to go in the same sort of direction as that reverse fixture, where it's going to be 2 teams playing against each other. 2 very good teams with very good players fighting out against each other. And it's going to be probably one of the most entertaining games of the week, of Gameweek 4. But you can't back against Bayern Munich right now, especially after that 4-0 demolition of Dortmund. So I don't think it'll be as embarrassing for Bayern Munich for Galatasaray as 4-0. I still, however, see Galatasaray struggling. I think Bayern Munich will win 3-1 again. Next up, we have Copenhagen versus Man United. Had Man United lost on the weekend to Fulham, I think if Man United had lost on the weekend to Fulham, and then lost to Copenhagen, I think Ten Hag would have been sacked. Luckily, they beat Fulham, and they're going to go into this game with, I think, Ten Hag a little bit further away from a little bit, having pushed himself a little bit further away from the sack. And I think they are going to make it 2 win back-to-back games with a win, as I'm going to edge United to win the game 2-1 with Bruno Fernandes getting the winner. Next up, Group B. We're on to Group B. Arsenal, Sevilla, I'm going to go straight to it. I think Arsenal are going to be strong for Sevilla. Are going to be too strong for Sevilla at home. So 3-0 to Arsenal. PSV, Lyon, I'm going to go a 2-2 draw. I think these are 2 evenly matched teams, and I think they're going to draw again. Group C, the penultimate group. First game, we have Napoli versus Union Berlin. Napoli are at home, so I'm going to back them. I'm going to back them 2-0. Next up, we have Real Madrid Sporting. Now, Real Madrid apparently, by the looks of it, will be without Bellingham, who apparently suffered a shoulder injury on the weekend for Real Madrid. So, is a Real Madrid without Bellingham going to be good enough to... Is is a Real Madrid without Bellingham going to win? Yes. But will they win as comfortable as they usually as they would do with Bellingham in the team? Probably not. I'm going to back Real Madrid to win, but I'm going to back them to win narrowly 2-1. And the final group is Group D. Real Sociedad Benfica ended. Oh, and by the way, Napoli Union Berlin. Arsenal Sevilla ended 2-1 in the reverse fixture. Napoli Union Berlin ended 1-0 in the reverse fixture to Napoli, and Real Madrid Sporting Braga ended 2-1 in the reverse fixture to Real Madrid. But enough of that. Group D, we have Real Sociedad versus Benfica. Real Sociedad won the reverse fixture 1-0 in Portugal. The reverse fixture in Portugal 1-0, and I think they're going to win again in Spain, and I'm going to back them to win comfortably 2-0. And final game of the week that we're predicting for the Champions League game week, for Champions League Game Week 4 is Group Stage Game Week 4 is RB Salzburg, who host Inter Milan. The reverse fixture between the two sides ended 2-1 Inter Milan. Now Salzburg are a good team, especially at home, but Inter are the finalists, are the current Champions League runners up. They've got some good players, they've got a good team, they've got some good players, and they're going to win again. And they are going to win the second game against Leipzig and make it 2 wins from 2 against Salzburg in Group D. And I think Inter Milan will win comfortably 0-2. 0-2. Yeah. 0-2 to Inter Milan. Let's go through my predictions once more. Tuesday, Group E. Atletico Madrid Celtic 2-1 Atletico Madrid. Lazio Feyenoord 3-1 Feyenoord. 1-0 Feyenoord. Group F, Dortmund Newcastle 3-1 Newcastle. Milan PSG 2-0 PSG. Group G, Red Star Leipzig 2-1 Leipzig. 2-1 Leipzig. City Young Boys 4-1 City. Group H, Shakhtar Barca 3-0 Barca. Porto 1 Antwerp 3-1 Porto. Wednesday, Group A, Bayern Galatasaray 3-1 Bayern. Copenhagen United 2-1 United. Sevilla Arsenal Sevilla 3-0 Arsenal. PSV Lyon 2-2. Group C, Napoli Union Berlin 2-0 Napoli. Real Madrid Sporting Braga. Real Madrid without Bellingham v Sporting Braga 2-1 Real Madrid. Group G, Real Sociedad Benfica 2-0 Real Sociedad, and Salzburg Inter Milan 2-0 Inter Milan. So those are my Champions League Group Stage Game Week 4 predictions. Put down in the comment section your predictions for Game Week 4. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to catch up with all my latest videos. But until Wednesday's Premier League Game Week 12 predictions, I've been Gibby O'Brien and I'm out. Peace.